Chief Meteorologist Tim Buckley with you. It is 10 o'clock on this Wednesday evening, and we are tracking Tropical Storm Debby. Obviously, we've been mentioning this throughout the week, and right now, it's kind of the last chance to get yourself ready to go for what tomorrow is going to bring. And we are concerned it is going to be a day that's pretty tough with the weather. A lot of rain is coming our way, including the risk of flooding. There is a high risk of flash flooding across our Piedmont area as we go throughout the day on Thursday. That's why we've declared it a News 2 weather impact alert day, and with good reason. Some of that water could rise on the rivers, creeks, and streams, covering up some roadways and making for some dangerous travel conditions. So you want to be ready, and here's what we're looking at. Again, this is as of 10 o'clock on your Thursday evening. Notice throughout the day, you can tell on this loop, it really has strengthened. Tropical Storm Debby weakened a lot back on Tuesday. Now it's kind of regained a lot of the strength that it has lost, and you'll notice the strongest side of the storm here is on the north. The center of circulation is right here off the coast of South Carolina, not too far from Charleston, but by far the worst weather right now is actually in southeast North Carolina. We're still watching and waiting up here in the Piedmont. Our weather will start to go downhill by the time you're waking up tomorrow morning. So let's get right to it. The storm center, as I said, is right by Charleston. Where are you saying? Well, about 40 miles east-southeast. It's moving due north, and plain as day, you can see it here. If it moves due north, it's going to move into South Carolina, and that's the expectation. It's actually not going to go any more to the east. It's going to go north and then eventually even curve a little bit west of north, closer to the Triad as we go into tomorrow. As I said, it does have some gusty winds, estimated to be around 60 miles per hour near the storm center. We have not seen anything like that on land so far. There are alerts with this, of course. Tropical storm warnings extending from North Topsail Beach down through the New Hanover County beaches, Bald Head Island, all the way through Brunswick County, Holden Beach, Ocean Isle, Myrtle, all the way down to Little River. You can go all the way down to Garden City too, and all the way down to Charleston. That's where those tropical storm warnings are posted. We do not have any others in any areas. Look at the radar though, and I'm concerned this is what our radar will look like for a good chunk of the day on your Thursday. A wall of water. Now, coming and going in intensity for sure, but this is messy. And we have a lot of problems going on across southeast North Carolina to be expected. Getting reports of Highway 17 in Brunswick County. If you go to the beach down there, you know that highway very well. Some of it has flooded near the Charlotte area. Sunset Beach has some roads underwater. As you would expect, all of this makes sense with a tropical storm or a hurricane. This is what happens, but it is happening this time as well, and the rainfall amounts have been impressive down there to be sure. At times, some of these storms have shown a little bit of rotation. In fact, you can kind of see that on the radar, and they're worried about tornadoes in this part of the state for this evening. A lot of these storms coming in off the ocean, all of those are rotating. Surf City here, Topsail Beach, North Topsail right about there as well. These are all spinning. You see that one right there? That's a water spout. So right now that red up against the green, that's a water spout headed up towards Surf City. If it comes ashore, they might have to issue tornado warnings, as they have done a couple of times throughout the day so far on this Wednesday. A few confirmed reports actually. This one on the Maple Hill area of Pender County, there near Harrells, in parts of Sampson County. A couple funnel clouds spotted too. Lots of flooding across New Hanover County. You get the idea. It's a typical southeast North Carolina and just a Carolinas tropical storm, but it's a very wet one. Radar estimates, remember, this is just for today. It doesn't include the rain that's fallen the last couple of days down there. They range from about 5 to 7 inches in the worst spots. Now, others haven't seen quite as much, maybe less than an inch. There are winners and losers, right? And this is what we're going to expect as we go into our Thursday. As of the 10 o'clock hour, look at the rain. It's backed its way up all the way toward the Sandhills. So it's raining now in Fayetteville. It's raining in Sanford and in Raleigh, and it will continue to do that there. give or take for about 24 hours. This is going to last a while as it moves up into the Triad. We can expect it to be here as we wake up on our Thursday morning. Wind gusts so far with the storm system have been pretty modest. We haven't seen too many power outages, only a couple thousand across the coastal communities. Wind gusts of 35 to 45 miles per hour have been the hardest hit so far. The storm, as I mentioned, is going to turn a little west of north, and this little wiggle takes it right over the Triad. If you can believe it, the storm center is going to pass right overhead in our area. Now, the center of it would be passing late on Thursday night into early Friday morning. But remember the radar I showed you? Almost all the rain is on the north side of the system. So we are dealing with the rain much before we're seeing the storm center close to us. In fact, that whole center business doesn't really matter all that much. Let's start to walk you through the hour by hour now. This is going to start around 2 a.m. on Thursday. We should still be pretty dry at that point. The radar I showed you would have the rain backing up to about here at this point. So our futurecast might be just a touch slow. Either way, you'll notice what it looks like in the morning. This is around 10 o'clock. Heavy rain is moving in. And anytime you see those oranges and reds or even the deep reds, that is that type of sideways rainfall that's really difficult to drive in. We have gusty winds along with this as well, and it's just blinding. Look at this. Probably the worst time of the day would be just after lunchtime into the evening hours. I mean, this is messy to say the least. We have not seen rainfall quite like this in a long time, the kind of soaking, torrential, relentless rainfall that you get sometimes with a hurricane or with a tropical storm. Now, by 10 o'clock, we start to see the light at the end of the tunnel. There would be a back edge to this, and what we've seen with Debby so far, that back half of the system is pretty dry, and that should be the case for tomorrow. So by 9, 10, and 11 o'clock, we're done with the worst of it. The best is yet to come, and we're going to see just some sprinkles and scattered showers, which should shut off by around 7 o'clock. So by daybreak on Friday morning, we are done with almost all of the rainfall. And I would guarantee that by lunchtime on Friday, we're not finding any more rain. In fact, at that point, we're actually starting to see the sunshine coming out really nicely. All told, though, 3 to 6 inches of rainfall is coming for us. And that might not sound like a lot, but I'm telling you, it does not happen all the time. In fact, 3 inches to 4 inches is about what we see in 1 month. So this is about 1 to 2 months of rain in just about a day. That's a lot to handle. In fact, we're going through the records at PTI Airport, which has been around since 1903. We've only had about a handful of days that got to 4 inches of rain. The record for all time in a 24-hour period for us is about 7.5 inches. So this is not something we see all the time, and we'll see how much we get for tomorrow. This concerns me. This is a product from the National Weather Service called the flash flood risk. It's pretty simple. If you have a low risk, it rates at a 1. If you have a high risk, it rates at a 4. To show you how rare this is, we've only had a couple of these over the last 10 years. The most recent ones would be back in 2018 with Hurricane Florence and Hurricane Michael. You remember those really for some severity in our area. They both packed a big punch. This means flooding is going to be a problem. Now think about the trouble spots in your neighborhoods, the rivers, the creeks, the streams, the backyards that always flood. Those type of areas are going to flood on our Thursday. We should just expect that and make sure to plan your day around that to keep yourself safe and out of harm's way. Wind gusts, it will be a windy day. There's no doubt about it. We'll have winds gusting around 30 miles per hour most of the time. Now, an occasional gust higher than that is possible, but the flavor of the day is really the rain and not so much the wind. But those wind gusts will still bring down a couple of trees and a few power lines, so scattered power outages are possible. There's also a low risk of tornadoes. We showed you what was happening in the Wilmington area. We have a low risk mostly from Greensboro to the east. The risk is a little bit higher for eastern North Carolina for Thursday, but all of us have the phones charged up for a power outage too. Have them charged up and have them close to you. If there's an alert, you will get that phone buzzing, and then you can turn it to us for that tornado warning coverage if we have to do it. Bottom line, tropical rainfall's on the way. That's going to be your weather impact for tomorrow, and it really lasts into Friday morning, but most of it's tapering off by daybreak. About 3 to 6 inches will bring flooding. You have to be alert if you have to be on the roads. If you don't have to be on the roads, what a perfect day to stay home and just kind of relax a little bit if you'd like. Charge those devices just in case we have some downed trees that would bring some power outage concerns. Bottom line, it's a washout. All day is washout for sure. We will have a lot of rainfall tomorrow. It is one of our wettest days in years. However, we have trimmed up our News 2 weather impact alert to be only the first part of the day on Friday because we expect sunshine to be back, and it'll stick with us as we go through your weekend. Saturday and Sunday are both looking mostly dry. You can count on us for coverage for Debbie.